Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And to quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that's what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. When I came in the game like, whoa, got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Facts. Lot of haters. Tell me where they at, though. I'm the new pop. All I do is rap, though. Yeah. Want me on your song? Throw a couple stats, yo. Woo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. Yup. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. Going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Woo. I'm going mainstream. Just saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters. Tell me where they at. I'm the new pop. All I do is rap, though. Want me on your song? Throw a couple stats, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
What's up, everybody? What day is it? Had to go getting a little Eric with it here. As you guys see, we got Kurtis Welch with us tonight, also known as RecklessFPV.
What up?
And Chuck will be joining us in just a minute. He's getting himself situated. So, I don't know how all you guys are doing tonight, but I'm pretty good. I have been looking forward to this for a while. So, Kurtis, first of all, and I'm going to call you Kurtis, what do you like to be called? Do you like Reckless or do you prefer Kurtis? Or do
it doesn't really matter to me, really, dude.
That's cool. Because I'll probably call you all kinds of things. Not the 4-letter things, but...
That's all right. Honestly, as long as you're honest about it, I don't care what you call me.
Well, there's one thing I will always be, and that is honest. To a fault.
Me too. Cheers to that.
Heard that, brother. So as you guys can see, it is dark in here for me tonight. This is the weirdest hotel room I have been in when it comes to lighting. I'm just going to swing this thing around real quick. Now, you know, there's my bed. That dark area back there, that's where the bathroom's at. There's a closet and a TV over here with a light over it. Over top the bed is a light. Behind me is a chair with a light over it. But right here where the desk is, there's desk. No light.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know what kind of people work in this room, but they obviously don't live stream.
No.
So you guys are going to have to deal with me being a little darker than usual tonight. That's probably not a bad thing. Oh, let me turn this banner off. So, Kurtis, first thing I like to ask, you guys, how did you come up with the name? And for some people, the reason I ask this is this name started long before FPV, and it just kind of followed them. And for other people, they were given the moniker by people they know. Some people came up with their own. I just like a little backstory on the name.
Well, to be honest, I think it was mainly because I kind of got into the hobby with zero knowledge. I just kind of threw a pack on something that I threw together and just started ripping around in my yard. So I just kind of felt like when I thought of a name, I was like, that's got to be it. It just has to be it.
Yeah, because I was not intentionally reckless, but I was a guy that came from a gaming background, long time. I mean, I'm 40, which if you do that math, puts me in the mid-'80s. I started playing Nintendo and Atari, and so came up through all that console phase, before internet gaming and all that. And so I get a hold of this thing, and I'm like, psh, I've got this.
Yeah.
So I send the thing straight up, and it promptly met its blacktop death, and there I was waiting for parts for 4 more weeks after 20 seconds of flight.
Yeah that definitely happens.
So I assume your story goes a similar way, but as assumptions go, we don't like to assume.
Yeah, basically just a fail safe. That was my first experience, was just a fail safe. I just flew way too far. I thought I could fly way farther, and that was it. Wow.
That sounds terrible, actually, for a first experience.
Yeah, it was way out in a potato field, too. I could hear the thud. It was about 300, 400 yards away, and I heard the thud because I had to have been at least a couple hundred feet off of the ground.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, and was it like full-fledged potato season? So if you didn't have a beeper, you had a hard time locating it?
Well, I found it pretty quick just because I knew the area very well. But it was top down. The GoPro was in the ground, and yeah, it was pretty bad.
But did you come out of it with footy?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't even hit record my first flight. I was I was shaking that much that I didn't even hit record, and then I just ended up fail-safing. But the flight right after, I did end up getting. I had to get new receiver antennas because my receiver antennas got all mashed up in the props in the process. So,
gotcha. Yeah, my first one, I actually had a Polaroid cube on, and it was recording, but it hit the blacktop with such force that it ejected the SD card and didn't save anything.
damn.
And to this day, that still happens once in a while. The difference is with the GoPro, the door stays closed, but, it goes into that recovering file phase, which basically means it's just shitting all over everything.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, the life.
Yeah, right. I didn't talk to you much before coming in here. And for you guys that are just joining us, like, Kurtis and the NoobTube have kind of walked by each other and said hi, but we've never really gotten to know one another, at least not myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've talked to Chuck much or anything, but so when he went ahead and connected before we went live, I intentionally didn't say much to him. That way I just had all kinds of stuff to talk about. So, of course, I'm going to have all kinds of questions and stuff, but
that's smart.
Well, it is because I get carried away because I get really interested in all this stuff, and then we end up going through it twice, and it's not as much fun.
Yeah.
So the majority of us fly beta flight, as I'm sure you're used to, and you alluded that you are a KISS pilot. Now, have you always been a KISS pilot?
My first drone was beta flight. It was actually a X-Hover Element. On beta flight, I think it was an older version. I think it was 3.2 something. And then my first build was actually a KISS build. And it was the original Chameleon aluminum frame. And it flew amazing. And then I started having strange problems with it. I couldn't figure it out, so I just stuck to beta flight for most of the last year or so, and then I got back into KISS 6 months ago, and I don't know, I'm more of a KISS guy, to be honest. And after messing around with beta flight for so long and trying to tune it, I would still rather fly a hardly tuned KISS drone, just because I like the flight characteristics more. It feels more solid. I feel like beta flight gets very very loose. It feels loose. I don't know. It's hard to explain it, really.
It can. I know what you're talking about. So I'm a hardcore beta flight guy. Even with all this other stuff going on months ago with Butterflight, now Emu Flight, and you get these other flavors and forks of the software. I don't jump on them. I'm a firm beta flight. Good Lord. I'm a firm beta flight believer. But it's definitely taken a long time to learn all the aspects to be able to apply a solid tune.
Yeah.
And look, beta flight's gotten better, but when I started back in version 2, loose is the great word for it. It did not feel connected. It was not, you just didn't feel all the way in control. You felt like you were kind of along for the ride.
Yeah. Now, I haven't really dabbled with the newer beta flight. I found 3.57 was my favorite. And then they started changing everything recently. And now I'm like, I don't even want to mess with it. I just downgrade back to 3.57 and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing again.
yeah, because with the latest version, a lot of things have changed in the mechanics and the way that they play together. So
yeah,
Chuck is a hardcore KISS pilot, and he has been for a long time. Now, his first drone, I'm just going to fill in a little bit for him while I think he's trying to get back into everything, because I know this is eating him up alive. Chuck started with beta flight on an OG Wizard X220. And then he built a Martian frame, and it may have had some beta flight on it, a beta flight controller, but then he pretty much, if he went for a second beta flight rig, he went right into KISS and never looked back. but he's not interested in trying to become a master tuner. He's not interested in trying to learn all the ins and outs. He just wants to fly, and he wants to fly with good flight characteristics.
Yeah.
And for a long time, that was KISS to a T.
Yes. Yes. It is straight. I will say, after just setting up your switches, it is probably the nicest feeling firmware right out of the box.
Yeah, and so admittedly, I really can't speak to that. My day is coming to try something else, but I'm one of those guys, I don't hop around a lot and try different flavors of things. I'm a guy that kind of latches onto something and wants to know about it in and out all the way through. It's just the way I've always been.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but my day is coming because Chuck, being a hardcore KISS guy, one of the things he recently decided to give a shot to was Flight 1. And he's only got a few flights under his belt, and his sentiment was, out of the box, I don't have to touch a configurator, it sets itself up, and it flies fantastic. He's like, honestly, because you get more ESC compatibility across the board, and you're not tied into that KISS. What's the word I'm looking for? That you have to use the KISS hardware to take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like, the cost of maintaining it goes way down. He's like, it's early. He's like, we are a long way away from this being an actual decision, but if it stays as good as it is or gets better, I might have a contender to KISS. And he said, he'll probably never drop it all the way. He'll have a drone that he probably still runs KISS. He loves, he believes in it. But for his 5 inches, might make sense.
Yeah. I haven't tried Flight 1. I have tried Race Flight back in the day. I actually still have my my Win 5 with the Bolt ESC, the Bolt 4-in-1 in it, and the Race Flight. Can't remember which flight controller it is, but it's an older setup. But I haven't tried Flight 1.
And, I probably won't jump into KISS. I feel like in some regards, and this is not a kick, right? Because, again, if something's not broken, you don't have to go trying to fix it, okay?
Yeah.
But in learning what I have and having the experience that I have with Betaflight 4.1, I want to keep the characteristics of, I'll say, the more modern firmwares going. And Flight 1 shares more in common in a lot of ways with Betaflight, especially the newer versions, than it does KISS. So I'll probably go with Flight 1 just for that level of familiarity.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, you fly a lot of 5 inches. Do you do a lot of whoop flying or micro flying?
I have flown a Mobula. I used to have one of those Furious Mosquitoes, the Mosquito 70s. I prefer to fly a 5-inch, even in a cinematic setting. I would still, even flying through someone's house, I would still rather fly a 5-inch just because I know my quad very well. Whereas the whoops are just they're more toys to me. We actually have a track set up in the house for me and my girlfriend to race, but we've only really been taking turns with one Mobula. Now there's a lot of snow, so I'm going to be trying out the Mobula a lot more.
So I have flown brushed whoops. In fact, last year, so I just turned 40 in the middle of October. The year before that, the FPVNoobTube guys all got together and pitched in and bought me a Beta 75X, a brush.
Oh, yeah.
And it was my first, it was my second. Oh, let me correct this. Sorry. I had started flying a brushed 65 millimeter whoop. They bought me a brushless 75. So I got to experience the differences in the ducted builds with the different hardware. And I'll be honest, I was always guilty of trying to make them fly like a 5-inch.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I sort of lost interest in those pretty quickly. And then this last year, actually just a few months ago, I got a hold of an Eachine Red Devil, which is like a 65 millimeter toothpick. And I was blown away with how well those things fly. I know, right?
Yeah.
And how much they fly like a 5-inch. Now, I set them both on fire one day while I was out with MD95 TSI within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
In flames. But I think that speaks more to the hardware and the fact that they were a little undermotored and it may have been causing some power surges. But
yeah, I tried the Mosquito was a pretty cool little drone, but I think because it was 4 separate ESCs, if I actually put a 4-in-1 ESC on it, it might have actually been way more balanced. It felt like it was very wonky. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It was very loose and it was hard to control even outside. So I didn't really like it that much. I ended up taking it apart and building something else out of it.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not a fan anymore of the ducted Whoop style builds. But if you want to go toothpick style, 65, even 75 millimeter props, I think unequivocally that is the way to go if you're looking for a micro. Now, to fly them indoors, I think it depends how much room you have indoors. Like if it was kind of an arena or a large room, that would actually be a lot of damn fun.
Yeah.
But not for flying underneath your kitchen table.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, dude. My toothpick is fast as all hell.
2S?
Yes.
Okay. Mine was 3, and it was pretty goddamn fast, too. My answer to that was crank the camera down, forced me to fly a little slower. Of course, the day I set those on fire, I was flying with like a 45-degree camera tilt, and that was probably part of the reason they went on fire.
Yeah. Enough about toothpicks. Let's talk more about Kiss.
Yeah, well, welcome to the stream, Chuck. I'm glad you got that worked out. And yeah, I'm going to let you chat a little bit.
Well, I was just wondering. I heard you. I was on YouTube on my phone or whatever, so I heard you guys talking. The first time you flew Kiss, how long did it take before you knew?
Oh, it was immediate. It was immediate.
Within seconds, right?
Yeah.
See, I knew I wasn't freaking crazy.
I've been doing it a lot recently just because there's a lot of snow now. I've been bringing Betaflight drones out and then flying them side by side and trying to do proximity with a Betaflight drone. I'm like, no, that I can't even post that. And then it's like gliding with Kiss. It's almost like Kiss makes you a better pilot. If you've never tried Kiss, I'd suggest even getting some used Kiss parts and trying to make a build because it's definitely worth at least trying.
Yeah, Chris.
I was going to say, you and Chuck could be related right now.
No, literally, I knew probably within 15 seconds of that first pack. I'm like,
yeah.
It clicked in my head. I was like, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I found with heavier drones, you just kind of have to tune a little bob. When you're coming out of rolls or flips, you'll have to tune that out of it. Only with a heavier drone. But other than that, it's pretty much stock tune. You don't really have to mess with Kiss much.
And how, I'm sure everybody else is wondering, and I'm sure you've heard it gotten shit from everybody a million times. How do you justify the cost?
The experience. I fly for the experience, and I find I get my best experience from Kiss.
Good answer.
That's why.
Nice.
That's why I don't buy cheap rum.
Right? This ain't college anymore.
Same thing.
Right. Now, have you hold on? Have you tried anything else besides Betaflight and Kiss?
Race flight. I tried.
You did.
And
How long
I
ago
don't know.
was that?
I never. It felt like it would be great for racing. It felt very robotic. It didn't have like the freestyle feel to it. Like when you were doing flips and stuff, it just felt like very stop and go. And then like for racing, it would probably be amazing. And then like for me, when it comes to doing things like a very snappy inverted yaw or a very snappy Rubik's Cube, I'll notice it right away, even just doing a 360 on flat without actually being inverted. I'll notice right away that KISS feels way better.
Now, Josh's theory is because there's so much ridiculous amount of filtering in it that makes it smooth, and that filtering makes things slower.
On KISS? I don't think KISS is, there's not really anything to KISS though. Like maybe in the firmware, hidden in the firmware somewhere, but
there's a lot in there, believe me.
But I haven't, as far as when I look at Betaflight, it looks like it has a lot. Whereas KISS, it's already kind of done for you.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And I say this only from an analytical perspective, right? Look at the numbers. Now, KISS rules which arena? Freestyle.
Oh, freestyle for sure.
If you talk to any racer who has tried to fly a KISS rig around a track, he says it feels slow. Not as in all-out speed, put the throttle up. I'm not talking about straight line. I'm talking about response. And that's the only reason, you start to put some of this stuff together. So my background, I'm a software guy. Like, I'm a programmer. My job is to just analyze everything to death. And I think I fell into it and love it so much because it just comes very natural to me. So I start taking all these little tidbits that you can put together, because the one thing you cannot do with KISS that you can do with almost every other firmware out there is you can't look under the hood. So I just start putting things together, and I think Felix has a little bit of genius going on where he's got some adaptive filtering going on, but not configurable or not super configurable. He's trying to keep it simple. He's taken his idea of the way this thing should fly, he's putting it in there, and it works. That's the one thing nobody can argue. It works.
Yeah.
But there's a cost to that. And I think that's why you may not see more of it in the racing arena on top of the cost. Because when you're just hurdling this thing at gate after gate after gate, that's even worse than hurdling it at tree after tree after tree inverted.
Yeah.
Referencing the video we just watched.
Yeah, the one that froze my freaking computer.
Oh, it was this video, huh? Because it was that good.
No, actually, but the funny thing is KISS is actually what made racing big to begin with. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Tad Nowak, the first big winner, right? He is actually basically the guy who brought quads into the limelight, especially racing. And he flew a 6-inch Alien with biblades on KISS V1.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's all you haters.
You know me. I like to start a good debate, and the best way to do that is to take something people are passionate about and set it on fire.
Yeah.
Well, now, you were talking about you tried race flight. Now, how long ago was that?
This was pretty much right when I had just started, so I'd say about 2 years ago.
I say that because I'm actually experimenting with Falco X at the moment. And from what I see, I don't know about handling. That's, you'd have to do a person-by-person basis, but it's everything a KISS user is looking for that I've seen so far. The ease of setup, it's even easier. It takes 2 minutes. You're flying.
Yeah.
And well, once you get it figured out, unless you're Chris, the computer just rejects the program completely. But I'm actually really liking it. I would suggest trying it.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to now. I've thought about it. I don't know. I'm pretty stubborn most of the time. I just kind of stick with what I know and what's flying good. So
Oh, likewise. I mean, me saying everything that I just said has a lot of people looking at their computers going, "What the fuck did he just say?" Because I've been kissed since that first pack, dude, and I wasn't into Betaflight for that long. I don't think, maybe 3 or 4 months. Like that.
I try with Betaflight. I still do to this day, but I can't. I've made it fly similar, but still not quite.
Yeah, I still try Betaflight too. You know, I have to because Kiss doesn't deal with these.
Yeah.
But I hate it.
I'd like to see Kiss get into X class. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't think that it would have to change much.
I don't think it would have to change anything. I think it's just a matter of somebody going, let's put a KISS board on here. But you know where that falls apart is you're going to lose the telemetry, because I don't know that there are any KISS ESCs that are going to run that big.
No, that would be the hurdle, really, would be to make the ESCs to run it. But after that, then I feel like that'd be pretty cool anyways.
Dude, we're paying $110 for a 4-in-1 now. Can you imagine what like an 80 amp ESC would cost from Flight Window?
Yeah. You'd be selling your laptop.
Dude, that'd be like $500 a pop.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just sitting here. That just completely locked my brain up thinking about it. But, you know, I wonder, and I have to wonder, now that the BL Heli, especially the BL Heli 32 ESCs, do support bidirectional telemetry, just what it would take. And I'm not talking about the willingness. I'm talking about just how disparate it is to be able to pull a BL Heli ESC and make it fully compatible with KISS telemetry.
Well, I mean, there are companies that are expanding into the KISS market with Felix's permission, because Felix don't fuck around. I forget what it's called. They came out with a forum one not that long ago. What was it?
Fat Tech.
Yeah, FedTech.
I'm very, very interested because being Canadian, KISS is already expensive. I have to pay import charges because there's no KISS dealership in Canada at all.
Yeah. Damn.
So I'm banking on Fat Tech making their way into Canada.
Well, that would be nice. I mean, I'd love to try it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually cheaper too.
Yeah.
Weren't they involved in getting the KISS 4-in-1 idea more fleshed out? Weren't they the first one to market with a 4-in-1?
No.
Yes. Well, I don't know if they did before KISS.
iFlight is, and that was on V1. Right when KISS V2 came out, iFlight came out with an all-in-one. It was a flight controller and 4 ESCs in one board. Wasn't great, but yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the more we talk about KISS, the more viewers we lose. So now we're changing gears.
Yeah, Jeff Freestyle was just saying he's gonna crank that 7-inch rampage it tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude! Flying big quads like a rampaging 5-inch. I'm all about that.
Oh, I'll be there to read about the tears.
You'd be surprised.
Oh no, I mean like if it gets away from him and he plants it in his potato field.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed to find out you're from Canada, bro.
He's not far. You just need that passport. Take
I
that.
have a passport. I just
Yeah.
my first trip. I'm actually going out to the UK. I'm going to visit my mom and my brothers out there, and I'm gonna do a whole flight thing out there. I'm bringing my girlfriend, so
You
try
better
and fly some castles and stuff like that while we're out there.
Absolutely.
Make sure you read up on the local laws and things just to try to avoid any trouble.
Yeah.
I know, Chuck. You're so punk.
I know. We should hook him up with Damo, bro. Damo, tell him what's up. But the reason I say that is because I'll never get to fly hard.
I have actually flown over there. It was a year or so ago now, but it's really wet. Like there's no dry spots to land in England. I definitely take my hat off to those guys because they're pretty much rinsing everything every day when they get home.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Sounds like MD95. He just puts it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, pretty much. Like your motors are pretty gritty by the end of the day.
I'll have to ask Damo about that. You never even said nothing. I guess it's normal to him though, right?
That's what I was thinking. All right. Reckless, I want to switch this back over to you for just a hot minute here. Now, first, you recently hit 1,000 subs, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
How long have you had your YouTube channel? Like really been putting effort into your YouTube channel?
Well, I've had it for a long time, but I started flying 2.5 years ago. And then I only really started putting serious effort into this channel, I'd say about 9-10 months ago.
Okay. Wow. You're doing pretty good because you also have recently landed some sponsors.
Yeah, I have a few people that have been supporting me and helping me out anyways. I'm not actually sponsored by Ovonic. I have been talking to them and I have been trying very hard. Fingers crossed on Ovonic, but I also have been working with OzQuads. They sent me and my girlfriend a couple of monster frames. That's going to be kind of under wraps for a little while because I got some really special one-of-a-kind motors to put on them. And then what else? I win a lot of contests somehow. I have some really good luck with giveaways.
That's a Canadian thing.
Yeah, I've heard about this guy. Believe me.
Yeah, I somehow I win a lot of contests. So that has been very, very helpful.
Nice.
It's not a cheap hobby anyway.
No, it's not. Of course, that being said, there are more expensive hobbies like sports cars and booze and hookers. So
yeah, exactly. Jay Speedy also he sponsors my 3D prints.
Nice. Well, I was bringing that up because I know that you're doing an Ovonic giveaway.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to give you a chance to do your plug on here and just let everybody know what's going on. Now, I'm going to post a link to your YouTube channel again here in the chat. I posted one a little bit ago. But cool. Go ahead and plug that for a minute. I'm going to give you full screen here. Whoops. Let me try that again. I'm going to give you full screen here when I click the right thing. And let's talk about that giveaway.
All right. So basically, I'm not even asking for subscribers or anything. You just have to go and like the official Ovonic page on Facebook and then leave a comment in the bottom. And the best part is it's not just 4 free lipos. It is 4 free lipos of your choosing. up to 6 cell. So even if you fly 3 cell, I will make sure that it gets hooked up. You give me your address and it'll get sent to you.
Well, in that
Right.
case, bro, I'll just give you my address and you can forget about the giveaway. Because that's the funny thing is pretty much all of us in our group fly Ovonics. That's what we use.
Yeah, they're great batteries. And I was kind of, because I've seen so many LiPo giveaways, I was very torn to pick a size of battery. So I wanted to work it out so that someone could pick their size of battery. Also because I know there's people flying 4S that want to switch over to 6S. And this could be a good push. I know if I hadn't won the 6S batteries that I had won, I probably wouldn't have had that push to try it out. Now that I've tried it, I'm like, I really like 6S.
You're like, what the hell did I wait so long for? Now,
Yeah,
it's
nuts.
KISS and he flies 6S. I found a new heterosexual life mate. Sorry, Josh.
I'm good with it. I need a little rest, and I'm not talking about from being tired. I have to sit on that weird donut thing now.
Wow.
You know me, gotta homo it up.
Way to silence.
Then I go home to my wife, and she's like, seriously? Oh, man. No, and I take a little credit for that. When Ovonic came out, one of the things, it was really hard to not see them because they were really pushing their marketing, right? Yeah. And what happened is I initially won a giveaway, and they sent me 2 batteries, and I didn't judge right away. Now, the first thing I noticed, though, was the size, right? Because at the time, CNHL was really it was the budget alternative, right? And the one big thing with CNHLs, more than anything, is that they're big. They've always been big. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm like, 1,300. And it's like the size of a Thunder Power pack. A little bit bigger, but I mean, really small compared to a CNHL. And I'm like, what the heck? So I throw it on my drone. I run it, probably 10, 12 cycles. And I'm like, okay, this is good. And all I was looking for is the basic stuff. Now, you can't tell a ton after just 10 cycles. But after those 10 cycles, because by this time I had also won one of those gold bat giveaways and some of this other stuff, and I had a few brand new CNHLs sitting around. So I tell these guys, I'm like, well, guys, this weekend I'm going to set something on fire. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I want to see what it takes, like which batteries put out, which ones blow up, and which ones can hold up, but all budget. Like, I'm not buying expensive batteries.
Yeah.
So I took a handful of these things, actually 6 different batteries, because some of them I didn't publish the footage just because they're batteries that nobody cares about. They were way out of the budget range. And what I did was I cranked my camera angle up to like 60 degrees. I took off, went to 100%, and I stayed there for 2.5 minutes.
Nice.
Flying circles around the field. Now, what I noticed is that at the end of the day, when you compared all the footage, they all had pretty similar flight time, but the Ovonic put out just a little bit more voltage for that duration. Now, was I expecting it to put out like a GNB battery? No, not for $14 a piece. But when you compare it again, the weight to the power to the performance and the fact that after 3 of those runs, that battery didn't puff.
I'll tell you what, I came from Thunder Power. I had bought 10 of them off the bat. And they worked great. They were fantastic. I don't think, they didn't age well, but I didn't really take care of them either. And this guy over here is actually the guy that talked me into trying Ovonics. And the difference, I think, is small. There's a difference. Thunder Powers, they perform a little better. I also think they're a little more resilient to damage. That's my one qualm with Ovonic is they get deformed pretty easy.
See,
but for the price because I waited till they were on sale over at Ampow, and I bought 15 1000 milliamp 6S for $21 a pop.
Yeah, and they seem to be on sale a lot.
Yeah.
The sales are like, I don't know when the sales stop and when the sales begin. It's like they're constantly having a sale, an Ovonic sale. I get notifications every day. A new Ovonic sale. I'm like, well, this is great.
It ain't like Thunder Power where they go on sale twice a year and you're just getting the old warehouse stock that you need to get rid of. It's been sitting in the warehouse for 6 months.
Yeah.
So.
Now, after about 120 cycles is what I have on mine right now. I know it's not 150, but I know it's over 100. They're just starting to show their age a little bit. Now, mine are 4S too, so I'm getting that 4S sag anyway, which Chris Justice ruined me on. I flew one of his drones one time on 6S, and now I can't not feel the 4S sag.
That's all it
So
takes.
it's coming.
It's nuts. My first proper 6S run on 2306 1722s, I went to that barn that I fly all the time, and I did a full throttle orbit around one of those pillars for like a minute and a half just to see if I could make this thing sag. And it was like, I started getting nervous after a little while. I was like, holy, I'm still going. And then I had to like pull out of it, and I got all disoriented because I had been spinning for so long, and it turned out bad. But it was awesome. I couldn't believe it. The power, and you can drop from so high, and even with just a 5-inch prop, you can just stop yourself. It's like nuts.
Yeah,
and you'd think with the extra weight it wouldn't do that, but no problem.
Well, that's actually why I chose the 1000 milliamp, because I get comparable flight time to a 1300 4S and a little more when the battery's new. And it's just fantastic. And it weighs the same, and it's the same size.
Yeah.
Dude, the 1000 milliamp 6S Ovonics are the same fucking size as a 1300 Thunder Power. And I'm guessing that it's roughly the same weight.
Wow.
And that is incredible. I don't need a bigger battery, to be honest. I bought a 1300. That's a brick.
See, I like not necessarily lightweight, but I like a lighter drone too. And what I mean is when everybody's creeping up to the 660, 680 range because they're going with larger 6S batteries, I still want to be in the 620, 630 range.
My 4.5 Alien dude's like 615.
Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, it's got my attention. Now, all of my other hardware except my motors has been 6S capable for the last year. But I had just purchased like 24S batteries when, all the 6S really hit hard hype. And I'm like, I'm not changing now. I'm going to run these 4S till they can't run anymore. And slowly they've been dropping out. And so I've started buying a set of 6S motors at a time. I've got 3 or 4 sets on hand now. So when I'm ready, the last thing I have to do is make, or buy a batch of batteries, and then I'll be good to go. Because when I go, I'm moving all of them to 6. I'm not doing a mix. One thing I like, and that's consistency.
That's a good way to do it.
I have a mix right now. I am slowly making the change, but I don't really have a lot of lipos to begin with. The 4S will be phased out pretty quick anyways.
Yeah. I wonder how long the 4Sers will hang on, though, because even some of the racers there's a few that are very adamant about staying with 4S. I don't know.
I think apparently more of them need to try 1000 milliamp hour Ovonic.
Yes, because there is no extra weight.
I don't know that 1000 will be what they're looking for because it's the duration, right? You got to hit that 2-minute time.
Yeah.
But 1300, they should be able to pull it off when you consider that what they've been doing to get it out of a 4S is overcharging them.
I like the 13s. I've tried the 13s, Ovonic 6S, and they're nice.
Well, I mean, the difference between a 1300 Ovonic 1,000 milliamp Ovonic is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought one thinking, okay, Ovonic tends to make smaller batteries. No, this thing looks like a 5-cell Sienna gel, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
And I don't really need that flight time because by the time I hit 4 minutes, I'm like, well, I haven't crashed yet.
Well, for you guys that are still around, before I forget, we're getting close. So Kurtis, we kind of stick to an hour here. I mean, it's really cool, and as much as sometimes, at times we've just kind of thrown in the towel and said, to hell with it. Let's just keep this going until we're sick of it. Keeping it with the hour, make sure that there's always something good to talk about and something going on, and then we just call it quits because worst case we pick up next time.
Yeah.
One of the things that we love to do here, we have what we call a slap and strap giveaway. We have FPVNoobTube stickers and FPVNoobTube battery straps, and you can't buy them. We have decided they are not for sale. The only way you can get them is to be in the chat, in the live streams, when we decide to pick the random winner. So you have to be participating and being active with us to even have the chance to win. So we're going to do our slap and strap giveaway right now, and we do that by letting Nightbot pick the winner.
Hey, Reckless, if you want a chance on it, type something.
Cool.
All you do is put something in chat.
And that way people can click on your name and go subscribe to you.
Yep. So that's why I'm explaining all of this.
Thank you very much.
Hey, check it. And slap like now.
Epical.
Nobody gets that with us.
What's going on, 5 freaking onion rings? Thanks for stopping in. And thanks to all the rest of you guys, too. Razman, Ryan. I don't remember. I don't think I saw Soul Apostle, but he might be hanging in here. Jeffrey Style, Double A. All of our homies who are always here. Thank you, guys. We love your support. Okay, there's Reckless. So we're going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Throwing that winner or picking that winner. Let's see who gets slap and strap tonight.
How you doing, Chris Sullivan? Thank you for joining us for the end of the stream.
He's been putting out a lot more content the last couple short months.
I'll have to check him out. Jeff Freestyle.
All right.
All right, you get to explain it this time.
Yep. So in order to fulfill this, now we do this, let's just explain it all because we don't always explain it. In order to keep costs down, you pay for shipping. And the best way to do that, you are going to take an envelope. In fact, give me this screen for a minute. You are going to take an envelope and you are going to stick 2 stamps on it and you are going to write your address like you're writing a letter to yourself. Then you're going to take that envelope and stuff it into another envelope and you're going to send it to one of us so that we can send you your stickers and straps. So what we need you to do in order to get that address is just contact Chuck or myself or MD95 TSI or Crystal Justice or any of those noob crew guys. Even Eric E. Drone can help you. Eric E. Drone.
Yeah, hit us up on Messenger. I'm Charles Hoover. That's Josh Withrow. Like you said, Crystal Justice, Chris Justice. Crystal Justice is actually the person that's going to do it. So.
Yep. So Chris Justice and Crystal have been taking care of all that. They inventory our stickers. Reckless, we were able, the FPVNoobTube's been monetized, and what we do is we take 100% of that revenue and we buy stuff to give away on the channel. We don't use it for anything else. And that's why we have this stance on our shipping. All it costs you is $1 in stamps or something of that nature, and most people have envelopes on hand. And that just makes sure that none of us are fronting the bill for anything.
That's awesome.
Speaking of which, we got merch. Of course, all the people I think in chat know this, except for maybe Chris.
Go ahead and plug it, Chucker.
You head over to our Facebook group, the FPVNoobTube. You will see a pinned post that shows our little Teespring thing. And like Josh said, all proceeds go back to you guys. So go buy some shit.
Awesome. Love it.
All right. Now that we got all that out of the way, I am going to hop back to, we know you love KISS, and we know that you like Ovonic. Now I want to know, what motors do you prefer? I want to know how to be as reckless as I can be.
I like anything in the 2306, 2400 range. But if I had to choose, I would say the Mr. Steel Ethics motors are probably my favorite freestyle motors. Okay. They're expensive, but I have bent bells, but I've also bent them back pretty easily and then just kept flying them. As far as battery consumption, I can get 3 minutes and 15 average on a fresh Ovonic 13 4S.
Wow. Now, what about for 6S?
For 6S, I actually just got some. They're just cheap Racer Star 2306 1722s.
May I make a recommendation?
Sure.
I like Zing Motors.
My girlfriend actually got the Zing E's.
Primos or the E's. I mean, either is good. I think the Primos are probably better, but I don't know. They do cost more.
They look pretty.
Yeah, I just got a set of the 2306 1700s, the E motors.
Yeah.
I know. Jeff Freestyle, how could you not be subbed? That's so ridiculous. Oh, damn. Nightbot just made me look like a jerk.
Yeah, Nightbot, I've been trying to figure out why he's got this disconnect, because he works for the most part, but there's some things he just doesn't seem to be able to see. And one of those is who is subbed to us. So we don't trust him. No worries.
Hey, Chandler, I don't give a shit if they're Unibells or not, bro. I'm pretty sure that the Primos I got aren't Unibells because they've been around a little bit, and they are fucking fantastic. I beat the crap out of them consistently.
It's really interesting to me just to ask people, about their hardware, their preferences and things, because one of the things that I fell into a few years ago, I realized that I was starting to have a large variation in drones, different motors, different KVs, different frame styles, different weights, different. And what I noticed was that I seemed to gravitate towards one build the most. And then once I started really sticking with that build, I noticed that I was advancing a lot more. And so I'm a big proponent of pick a platform, stick with it. Don't have 5 completely different drones, switch them all the time, and think that you are going to master any of them.
That's pretty much, I spent 2 years finding my build, and that's what I actually ended up gravitating towards. I used to actually normally run a 2207 2450. I was a big fan of Cobras for a while.
Indestructibles.
Yeah, I love the Cobras, but I kind of liked, because I started doing more proximity, and then also like I was doing a variety of different styles in one pack. So I kind of gravitated towards a 2306 stator rather than a 2207. I don't know. I just, for throttle, it just felt better for me. I don't know. That's just preference, I guess.
Yeah, it is. And you only know by trying. What I realized was that on the builds that I liked, the one thing that really set it apart was the motor size. I'm a 2207 guy. I find, because I like to really be able to use my full throttle band. And what I noticed with the 2306s was at the top, they just didn't have anything. And I felt like I was always just working at the bottom. Now, some people like that, but I really liked it when I could use the whole stick, Yeah. So I run 2207s for that. I also really like mid to high KV more than I like the low KV.
We're talking 4S now, mind you.
Yes, I'm still on 4S.
I actually came to the same conclusion with high KV. I loved the 2750s with low pitch props.
And I'm going to call them mid now because everybody, for a long time, they were sticking with the 43 pitch props or the 45, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then, S1 was the first one that came out that went really low with that 3.1 pitch watermelon prop.
S3.
Yeah.
Or S3, sorry. And I tried them, and they had a lot of control, but I wanted more. Not a ton. I wasn't looking for a 51 pitch prop, but I wanted more. So then they came out with their S4s, 3.8 pitch, which right before they did that, I had went ahead and tried the Johnny props that are 3.7, 3.8 pitch too. And I was like, ooh, I really like these. But they're not as durable as HQ. That's where the S4 comes into play. I have not moved away from the S4 since I found them. They are my magic.
Yes, I do agree. Have you tried an S4 or an S3 on a 2306 stator?
Yes.
I have not. I only run
that to me, that on a 2306, the Mr. Steel 2345s, that to me is just butter. I love that. It has so much response when I need it at a higher throttle. I can really corner quick at a higher throttle. And
now, we don't say that B word around here. We use creamy.
Yeah, creamy.
Maybe
creamy.
You do, you freaking weirdo. But since Josh brought it up, let's finish out his build. Now, we know you run KISS. Are you running 24 amp, 25 amp? I'll say 30 amp, but nobody runs 30 amp anymore. Or the big ones?
The big one.
I'm running KISS V1 24 amps.
Woo! Old school. They did go cheap, man. I think you can. As much as I hate to plug those assholes, on Rotor Riot they have them for sale for $20 a piece every once in a while.
That's not bad. I haven't burnt out my last set yet, so that's why I haven't switched to V2 yet.
Well, check this out, man. On all my 6S rigs, I'm using the 25 amp. There's no reason to use bigger, and I'm using the 4-in-1.
The 4-in-1.
I'm using the 4-in-1 on one of them and separate on the other, and I do not use a cap because it's only meant for 5S technically. Yeah, but it doesn't need it.
Okay, well that's awesome. I was actually wondering that. I was wondering if the separate ESCs would work because I found out that the 4-in-1 worked. So yes, that's good to hear because I'm not really a 4-in-1 guy. I don't like burning out 4 ESCs at one time.
So with KISS, I understand that because the number one danger in KISS is shit lighting on fire. So
yeah,
as a BL Heli guy running beta flight, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, shit just breaks for no reason all the time.
Oh no, I know why it was breaking. Turns out when you hurdle that thing at a hard object enough, it just loses its desire to live.
For Reckless, if you pay attention when you're flying 6S, watch your max amp draw when you're done flying. When that stat comes up, just check it out.
All right.
Because you'll find that you don't need more than a 25 amp ESC. I think I've maxed out at 115 amps. That's the highest I've ever gotten on it.
All right.
And between 425 amp ESCs, it can take that all day long.
Yeah.
Well, because that's also the burst. It's not lingering there. It's just when you make a sharp throttle movement. It temporarily goes, and then a lot of times it settles back out well under 50.
Well, the burst is what's going to kill your ESC if it's going to die anyway. So that's why I say look at that.
Well, that's good to know because a lot of my beta flight rigs are actually running a 30 amp or more ESC. So it's just a matter of switching motors, and I could run all 6S no problem then.
Yeah, and the 25 amp ESC is actually got way better tech in it than the 32. Because Josh is looking at me funny because they did the separate PDB or PCB. They did all the what do they call that, filtering for electric noise?
Yeah, they put the power on a different plane than the signal, and that helps isolate a lot of the noise.
And there's all kinds of extra magic in there.
That's cool.
Anything else, Chuck?
Betaflight socks?
No. The only other thing we didn't talk about, I'm a big stickler when it comes to camera, more than anything. And I'll tell you, I was a Micro Eagle guy forever. And then I gave the Ratel a shot, and I've been on it ever since. I have yet to have a problem with a Ratel.
I cheap out big time on cameras.
And the Ratel's right up your alley, dog.
I won a Falcor, and I've been flying that in my 6S rig, and it's like I feel like I just got the new DJI goggles. That's how bad my regular cameras are. So,
are you still running like the HS 1177s or whatever, or?
I'm actually. I just blew this thing apart at the skate park. I actually snapped it in half, but it's the old Run Cam Micro.
Yeah, okay.
But it's all like, it's on its last legs. I just started using the Robins and the Run Cam Robins, and they're cheap too. I don't mind as long as they don't break the bank, because I tend to just shatter cameras a lot. Cameras and motors.
Jabo, I have Falco X installed on an Alien right now. I haven't gotten to fly it too much, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I have two Aliens right now, slammed Aliens. My main is the 4.5, and then I have my 5-inch beater.
I'm done. Later, guys.
Yeah, he's my Canadian brother, I swear. I actually built a 6-inch, dude, and I put, what the hell was it? 2308, 2150 kV for 6S.
Oh, yeah.
It's stupid. It's just dumb.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I laugh because the more you talk, I mean, I swear to God, you guys are like joined on the molecular level across distance. I had never heard of this 4.5-inch Alien until he was like, yeah, I got a hold of this thing, and I love it. Like, it is my frame, but they're hard as hell to find. And then you come up and you're like, yeah, I'm running a couple 4.5 Aliens. Like, just keep talking.
Yeah.
Basically, you got
Slam's hard to find too. I haven't really met a lot of people who fly the slammed version of it.
They mean there's another way?
It just feels right. It just feels right. It's the samurai sword of freestyle, I always say. As far as frames, it is the samurai sword.
The 4.5 slammed is so ridiculously fucking balanced.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you probably know this already. The trick to getting them is to order the body kit from Australia, from Impulse. And it's actually cheaper to get that way instead of buying the whole frame.
Really?
Yep. It's like $35, I think, for the body kit. And it comes with everything you need. Now, the extra money you're going to spend is for the slammed kit. But I recently found that they re-upped and got some more slammed kit body replacement packs.
Nice.
So it's a good deal.
Very neat. Hey, Soul Apostle, thanks for popping in. Well, Reckless, we spent so long grilling you tonight. Do you have any questions for us? You don't have to.
I don't really have any questions for you guys other than did you break any shit today?
Not today. So
Not today.
When I went into work, it was dark. When I got out of work, it was dark. And look, I mean, I travel religiously, right? I travel everywhere with my pack. So this goes with me through all the airports and everything. I mean, I've got everything here.
Yeah.
But it just gets hard to find a spot. And so this time of year, I end up doing a lot of night flying, but I end up having to wait till 9, 10 o'clock at night so that the stores close. And
yeah.
So
yeah. And I'm a truck driver, so I got screwed for the whole week, so I haven't flown in a week.
Damn.
So sadly, my answer is no, but I will attempt to make up for it this weekend if the weather does anything other than be shitty.
Well, it's gonna be shitty, but it might not be snowing.
Exactly. It is gonna be shitty. That's the problem. Now it's the type of year where you don't want to be out there, but you just kind of suck it up some days so you can get the packs in.
And you know, I don't really mind, but I'm a little bit of a polar bear, so.
Yeah, I don't mind. I just got my girlfriend into it, so I've been dragging her out into the snow, and she doesn't like it too much.
Does she fly?
Yeah, I just got her into it. I think she's been flying for 3 months, almost 4 months now.
Yeah, I don't know about all that because now you got to buy twice the amount of shit.
Well, it's more the fixing twice the amount of shit.
Yeah,
I've been at this desk. I've been at this desk for like the past 4 days straight while we've been flying. Then we come home and then I'm just fixing shit, which I don't mind. I like pretty much everything about this hobby. So there's nothing really I would rather be doing other than flying and breaking stuff and building it again. So I'm all about it.
You guys have a pretty good group up there. You have people to fly with?
Yeah, I got a few people here and there.
Nice. That's what I find really makes it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to fly, and I'll fly alone, especially when it's easier just to get the time. I have no problem flying alone. But if you tell me there's going to be a group of people, not only will I go, I will sit there and talk for 2 hours and not fly because I'm just enjoying being around a bunch of other pilots.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always the guy that everyone goes, so you going to fly or what? I'm like, I'm hanging out.
I came to get lessons.
I pretty much had to remind him every once in a while, hey, Josh, why don't you fly?
Yeah. No, I'll use a whole battery just watching people. And then I'll put in my flying pack into my goggles, and then I'm ready to go.
And then once in a while, I completely make up for it. I went out with some guys a week ago, and I went through 17 batteries that day. So, whatever.
Yeah, I still hate you.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, the wife will tell me while I'm gone all week, hey, we had some pretty nice days. It was 60 degrees. I get home, it goes to 20 and rains. I
do believe that's like, what, 15 negative over there or something like that? Worse than that, maybe?
Yeah, it's
I forget the
cold.
conversion.
I'm going to check the my right now temperature. It feels like -12 right now. That's what it's saying, and it's snowing right now.
So that's what, like 15, 20 degrees here?
In my experience, in all the businesses that I've worked for in Ontario, especially Southern Ontario, a lot of you guys are, you know, you understand the Americanese. So you translate pretty well between Celsius and Fahrenheit and liters and gallons and
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a construction worker, so they for some reason the plans are different all the time between metric and imperial. So
yeah, there's a reason it's called imperial. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense.
And we don't give a fuck.
Nothing makes sense. I tell you what, if this country ever gets its shit together and decides to go metric, I'm one of those people that will not be complaining because my life just got really easy. I am not a mathematician. Make it easy for me.
All right, I got an email from Jeffrey Stow.
All right, Jeffrey, we got it, so we're good. All right, guys, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap this up. Kurtis, thank you so much for joining us. You know, Chuck and I, weeks ago, you were doing some barnstorming, and you started just smashing some of these gaps, and him and I are watching it together, and we're on Facebook Messenger, and we're just like, are you serious? Look at this. Like, we got to talk to this guy. Where is he? And then we're like, Canadian? That doesn't help.
No, that barn, bro. I have never seen one like it, dude. That thing's like 3 fucking stories, half in the ground, gaps everywhere.
That's my pretty much my playground. I don't have a yard, so I am there. If I can't get to a spot, I am there every day.
Yeah, that place.
I was there today.
Bro, that place can make a fucking person pro.
It's a lot of fun. I clean it. I'm there cleaning it up all the time too, because it's easier to turtle mode if it's a little cleaner, you know. So
yeah.
Well, at least you ain't in Texas, man. If you're in Texas, somebody be shooting at you.
Yeah. There's a lot of barns like Canada, at least around me, Northern Ontario. I can probably drive a kilometer down the road and find another abandoned barn like that.
I see them all day long, man. The only problem is there's a lot of gun owners around here that live on farms.
Yeah, out here like you don't really have.
They don't want to know who you are. They don't want to see you. They don't want you on their fucking property.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no one really around here gonna shoot at you, so.
No, because the guys with guns do not want to have them confiscated. So
yeah,
right.
Canada does not play when it comes to their gun laws, which they're kind of commendable. So, all right, well, good deal. Look, I love mine, Chuck, but there are some things that just don't make fucking sense. That being said, everybody has the ability to shoot back. So if you don't own guns, get some. Kurtis, thanks again for joining us, brother. We would love to have you on again sometime just to chat things up.
Of course.
Make sure, man, keep pushing it. We are hooked on you like white on rice. We wish you all the best. We're going to be watching, hoping some of your efforts land you some benefits. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and now that I've met you, bro, I'm going to be yelling at you to do stuff in that barn. Josh knows me. I'll be like, okay, now you need to go do this.
Oh, I was going. Let me put it this way. I left with 3 quads today, and I came home and had to fix 4 quads because my girlfriend broke one too.
Look at that. He had to fix more quads than he flew. I am so proud of you.
That's amazing. All right, guys.
But it's all worth it. I'm doing the backwards stuff now. I'm sick of people telling me to do backwards stuff, so I'm starting to push it more. That's one thing that I will always promise to anyone who's subscribed to me is I will always push to do more crazy shit, because that's why I do this stuff. If it wasn't for this, I'd be trying to do a backflip on a dirt bike, and then I'd be in the hospital again. So.
You just made a big mistake telling me that.
That's what it's all about.
You breaking your shit?
It's all about.
See how much shit he can talk you into breaking?
I'm down. Well,
I don't want you to break it, but the shit I want you to do is going to cost shit to get broken.
And I think peer pressure and giving in to the masses is the least punk thing you can do.
Honestly, the best part of flying with a group is the people telling you, oh, do something. Because I'm usually the guy, I'll say, okay, do a roll through that gap, and I'll try and do a Rubik's Cube through it.
Hey, that's my line. As soon as I see somebody do something cool, I'm like, okay, now do something cool.
So once a year, us noobs have made a commitment for the last couple of years. We get together once a year and try to spend at least a long weekend together, if not a little longer. And that whole week is a complete clusterfuck because it's basically a week of just trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I hear that.
We bring out the best in
awesome.
each other. That's for damn sure.
Sounds like a lot of burnt up ESCs and broken arms and
bro, there was everything from fire to people falling out of trees to
sounds like my kind of party.
All right. Well, you guys stay tuned. Like I said, we'll have him on again sometime. We're going to be pulling some other guests on as well. You know, we want to really get in and meet some of these people that have been, you know, really coming to the forefront in the community. So, Reckless, if you haven't been on our noob crew, make sure you talk with Chuck in private sometime about getting on our noob crew.
Absolutely.
All right.
Our community spotlight, or actually, I should say our community highlight.
Yes. Don't do that Rotor Riot bullshit. If you don't know what that is, you send me footage, I'll edit it, I'll put the music to it, and throw it up with my little twist on it.
Cool.
And put it on the FPVNoobTubes. And I definitely want you fucking shit up in that barn.
All he needs is
a
self-interview and some footy. Send him a couple different packs of footy.
You got it. You're gonna have some pretty gnarly blizzard in the barn footage.
Yes.
And that right there is a nod with 2 shake weights.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I got a few packs in today, but I'm probably gonna go out tomorrow and it's gonna be snowing pretty hard, so
good deal.
Make it epic, bro. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Sounds good.
All right,
I'll
guys.
talk with you about it later.
Yep. We're going to call it now. You guys who are here, thank you. Congratulations, Jeffrey Style, again. If you haven't liked and subbed us, most of you who are still here have liked and subbed us. All the other losers have dropped out by now. Dare I say it. So you guys have a great week, a great weekend. Get out, burn some packs, puff some shit, break some arms, and happy craft.
Great.
Do it. Do it. Do it.